Hey everybody, Mike McWilliams, Upstairs to the Right Music Channel. It has been a long journey to get to this point with this Partscaster project that I've been working on, I'd say for over a year now. It is indeed a pleasure to be able to show this to you today in its completed form. I think that it looks fantastic. This was my 2003 Squier SE body that I took and added a neck, a nice beautiful maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard to it, 22 frets, and made this into an HH Stratocaster. Now, I've always wanted to have an HH Stratocaster because it's a configuration that interests me. Sonically, it is closer, I think, to an SG in the end than it is to a Les Paul in the bridge position. But if you want that SG kick in a Strat body, I think that this is the way to go. And I'm not disappointed with this. Again, one of the goals of putting together a Partscaster is making sure that you keep to a set budget. In my mind, the comparable guitars to this, which was a Harley Benton, ran at $399 US. And therefore, in my mind, I sort of set an artificial goal not to go above $400. And actually, I was able to complete this with the labor, with all of the parts and components, everything you see here, for around $390 US. So I was $9 under my goal. But that's okay, because in terms of what I'm getting here, in terms of the quality of the woods, the quality of the electronics, without any question, is far, far better than you would find in that Harley Benton model that is comparative to this one. So these are really nice pickups, hand wound in Croatia by Q Pickups. These are Dry Z replicas. They replicate the sound and the tone of the famous Alnico 3 Dry Z Japanese pickups out of Maxon. And I love them. You know, I've been waiting to find a place to drop these pickups, and fortunately, this ended up being the best project for it. Again, like I said, 2003 Squier SE body. When we did the routing on this, we discovered that this is not Agathis like it is listed. Some we're starting to think might actually have had outer bodies. Well, at least one did, because this one does, so I'm sure there's more. But outer body, not Agathis, so that's a plus for me. So I reached out to Anorak Music. They are a website based out of China that sell necks, I think, that are of great quality. You gotta put a little work into them, but they sell necks that are of such great quality that at such a great price that it just made sense for me to get a neck from them. 22 frets, a nice big D-shaped neck, nice fat Strat neck, like I'd say a 57 or a 58 Strat neck, and just really a fantastic quality for the price that I paid. I think I paid 40 euros for this neck, actually. Had to put a little work into it. I did do a Stewie Mac stain on this, just a straw stain, because it was as pale as a sheet of paper when it first came in. So I gave it a nice amber straw stain to it. Then I finished that up with a linseed oil and wax finish. And now this neck is just a beautiful, beautiful feeling neck. Just smooth and not tacky, not sticky, never will be. The frets I worked on as well. There are some things that I chose for my luthier Fern to do, so there was an additional bit of a fee for Fern's work. Wasn't much, but he was kind enough to drill the holes for the tuners and to also set the neck at the end of the day. I certainly like the way that it sounds. You know, there is just a great pleasure in putting together your own guitar. Really a great pleasure when you do that under cost. So the goal of this guitar, again, was to get it done under $400, all included, because again, you don't want to put a lot of money into a parts caster. As a matter of fact, you want to be able to get out of it what you put into it. A lot of people are going overboard with building their parts casters, and they find later on the resale value isn't as great as they thought it was going to be. I think that I hit the mark with this perfectly. It is indeed a punching above its worth, more to me than the 390 that it cost me to put together. It punches well above in terms of sound and quality craftsmanship in the end of any guitar out there in its price range. Certainly above its price range, I would say as well. You're not going to get, this kind of really, by the way, did I mention this has a 3-way switch? The middle position on this, just golden. I have full control over the tone of the bridge with this. And being in the middle position of this guitar, it also gives you a little bit of tonal control as well, because of course it's a mix of these two pickups. So really between the middle position of the guitar and the bridge, I have all the tonal values that you could possibly want to record with, to do the things that certainly that I'm doing from any kind of genre that you could think of. The neck position, I have to admit, is where there's a little bit of an issue. It's not wired to any tone pot at all. I've adjusted it a few times. I got it to where it's okay, but actually the cleaner tone is in the middle position. I'd like to do a treble bleed on this. Will be the next little, I'll be working on this a little bit more, not done yet. But I am planning on doing a treble bleed on this guitar, just to see, or there's two ways that you can go about retaining the definition while you bring your volume down on your pickups. One of them is 50s wiring style. The other one is to do a treble bleed. So I think that this one is going to get a treble bleed circuit. We can do that in 5 minutes. That's a very, very quick thing to do. If you have any soldering skills. So I will get around to doing that. I think one of the first things that I really want to do is just finish up on this fretwork. I mean, most people would not even sneeze at this. They would say that this is fantastic, but I'm looking for, I just a little smoother, just a little bit more smoother. 95% of the way there with the fretwork. But it's a player. It's ready to go, really, to tell you the truth. Even if I didn't do that, I'm good to go. So really happy with this guitar, really happy with the way they turned out. And I want to thank you guys for going on the journey with me in terms of putting this together. It did take a minute, but it is done now. And like I said, it's just, just a gorgeous guitar. Under $390 US to put this parts caster together. You can do it too. Just be aware that you want to keep to a budget. You do not want to get into craziness in terms of buying really expensive parts, and going overboard, and then later on finding out when you go to resell, if you do, that you're going to get nowhere near what you put into it. I can get what I put into this. This is really the value of the sum of its parts, but it punches so much above that because it's quality parts. It's well put together, quiet as a church at midnight. I have to be honest with you, just a quiet, clean guitar. Great for recording, great for doing live gigs if I ever get back into that again. I have no problem pulling this out, and I can rock this all night long, no issues. So this is going to be my main guitar, I've decided. This is going to be my player, my writer, my learner, because I'm still learning. We never stop learning. And I'm very happy with it, and I was able to do it at a very reasonable price. As you know, I have very expensive guitars coming in and out of here all the time. But for me, I wanted something that was a little bit more specialized, and I wanted to do it myself. So this was a result of that, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. If you notice, I didn't put, Squire here on the headstock. Even though it is a Squire plate there, you can see it says Squire. So Squire body, Squire plate, but I didn't do that because I don't care about what it says on the headstock. And certainly I feel a little queasy about putting on decals on things that aren't really those things. This is not a Squier neck. So therefore, I didn't want to put a Squier decal on it. Now, I'm happy with the way that it is, just blank. You know what? What matters is going to happen between here and here. Doesn't matter what it says up here. So this is the way it's going to be, the way it will continue to be, and I hope to enjoy it for many, many, many years. Even these, well, these are 70s knobs that I took off an old Greco from 1977. So I'm super happy to have a little bit of vintage on this guitar. At least some of the parts are vintage on here. Other than that, I have to say that this was a fantastic opportunity to put together my own guitar with my own specs, and it turned out just great, and I did it at budget. I absolutely did not blow my budget on this. One of the reasons, again, is I had most of the parts laying around. So in the end, keep your parts. That'll help you down the road, keeping your costs down if you want to put together something like this on the cheap. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for taking the time for me to show off my parts caster. That I finally got my parts caster project that I finally got done. It's been indeed a pleasure to do this, and I won't be doing it again. This is my one and only parts caster. Don't need another. Don't need more than one guitar, to be honest with you. But that's a subject for another day. I digress. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button and join this ever-growing community. And until the next one, you guys take care. Bye-bye.